Hi everybody, and welcome to Seeking the Sacred Earth. So, would we rather be right or would we rather be at peace? During the holidays, we're often confronted with triggers and people punching our buttons. It's sort of a part of community in the holidays that we've all come to accept because we're generally around the people that know us the best or most intimately during the holidays, that being our family and our closest friends. But there's an element to this that can really help us grow if we can take the time to just bring a little bit of attention to being triggered, to what having opinions is, whether it's political or social or whatever. And this comes to me because I have an incredible teacher that I'm working with who is really constantly redirecting my focus to our birthright of peace and serenity, and how it's through really holding peace and serenity and calm that the universal energies and infinite spirit, or your higher power, whatever you call it, can work through you and work in your life to create the highest good for you. But it can also, when we have this space of relaxation and allowing and flow, it creates in situations that give us opportunities to serve, to connect, and really feel nurtured by our fellow humans and existence altogether. So it's very simple. It's accepting that everybody's experience is sort of their own little universe. So it's like we have, I think, how many are we, 8 billion or 9 billion? So it's like billions of universes existing simultaneously. And that someone's view of the past, even though you've shared experiences with them, is going to be very different from your own. And that most of the time, people, whether awakened spiritually or not awakened spiritually, we often look at the past in ways that support where we are in the present, right? So we look at the past to make being in the present less anxiety-ridden, less painful, which often means that we change what we see of the past to propagate where we are in the future. Now, this has lots of problems to it, of course, because that means everybody else is doing that too. And so this is where we get into conflict, because this one person's truth is not going to be another person's truth, even though they're sharing experiences. So at the end of the day, you really have to ask yourself, what is it that you want in your life? What is it that you want to experience with the people that you care about or the people that you're connected to? And once you know that, then you're always going to be able to take the next best step. So I made a decision that I would work with this concept of, instead of being right, I was going to work with the idea of forgiveness, even though I would not be getting an apology from certain people in my life, or certain situations of my past were not going to resolve. That I would basically live in radical acceptance that that's how it was, and that only I could change things by how I felt about it. So I had to change how I felt. I had to get into a place where my heart was open enough that I could say, okay, this particular situation may never resolve the way I wanted it to. This particular person or circumstance is never going to give me what I think I need to feel at peace. I'm going to have to create that for myself. And specifically, when it comes to like people who you feel have hurt you or betrayed you, to look at those circumstances as, what am I here to learn? And how can I become stronger because I've endured? And even though you could have a righteousness, a self-righteousness, and you could be right to be angry, you could be right to hold that anger for the rest of your life. You would be right to want revenge and eye for an eye, but then we're all blind. And how can we walk in beauty if we're blind? How can we be in the moment and enjoying the bounty that is being offered to us on the daily if we're busy trying to seek retribution and holding other people accountable. It's just impossible. So surrender is not giving up. Forgiveness is not forgetting and then allowing the same thing to happen over and over again. It is simply leaning into the birthright of peace and serenity, that you can drop it, that you can drop the fight, that you can drop having to be right. You know in your heart, and I always go back to Jesus, and it's so funny. It's the way I was raised, but I'm not necessarily religious. Like I said, I'm deeply spiritual. Constantly goes back to, there's so many things that he could have done in the story of this man's life to be righteous. So much that was done against him was so wrong. But that's not what he taught us, and that's not why his story is so prolifically spread through the human race. It's because he dropped it. He surrendered. He surrendered. And he let peace take over. He let the higher power, infinite spirit, God, take over in the situation. You guys, this isn't easy. This is, a constant work in progress. But as we go into this holiday season, I just want to challenge you guys because, I'm being challenged by it. It's just a daily practice of I surrender this. I don't have to be right. I don't have to propagate the conflict. I don't have to hold someone accountable. I have to hold myself accountable. And really deciding that what you want in your life is to have peace and serenity so that you can have that good creative flow. So you can be in the mix of the synchronicities and the signs and the magic that life is constantly trying to give us if we could just open up and let go. So that's the challenge this holiday season. December 25th and 26th, all across the planet, we have an eclipse. And this means that, big, profound changes internally and externally are upon us. And I just want to encourage you guys, to jump on this bandwagon. Decide what you want. And if peace is what you want, if serenity is what you want, if calm is what you want, be willing to let go of conflict, let go of being right, let go of having to hold others accountable. And be accountable to your heart. Be accountable to your higher power in your spiritual journey. Thank you so much for viewing. If this resonated with you, please like, subscribe, head to the website Seeking the Sacred Earth. Most importantly, if you have loved ones, friends that you think could benefit from this message, please share this with them because that's what this is all about. Thank you so much, you guys.